So, who is Jay Gatsby? Seriously, it's the one question that drives one of the greatest American novels ever written. And today, we're going to answer it. We're diving deep into one crucial chapter to pull back the curtain and find the real man hiding behind all the myths, the wild parties, and the endless gossip. You know, the first thing we ever really learn about Gatsby isn't a fact at all. It's a rumor. And get this, it's his own guests sipping his illegal cocktails who are spinning these absolutely wild tales. They paint him as this phantom, this ghost, a killer, a German spy, maybe even related to the devil himself. This sets the stage perfectly. Gatsby isn't a person. He's a blank canvas for everyone else's crazy imagination. Okay, so to figure out who this guy really is, our first move has to be exploring the world he built around himself. And what better way to do that than by looking at the guest list? It's this incredible, sprawling roster of the Jazz Age's weirdest and most powerful people. First up, we've got the old money crowd from East Egg. And let me tell you, this guest list shows just how bizarre these people were. You have a whole family that acts like goats, some guy whose hair just randomly turned white, and another dude who gets into a fist fight in the garden. I mean, this isn't just a party, it's a living museum of eccentric, super rich, and honestly deeply bored aristocrats. And then you have the new money folks from West Egg. And wow, is the vibe different. These are the hustlers. We're talking movie producers, politicians, and straight-up gamblers like Rotgut Ferret. There's this raw, ambitious, and kind of dangerous energy here that's a world away from the goofy antics of the East Eggers. This is where the real wheeling and dealing happens. And here's the real kicker. You've got hundreds of people, from the weirdly posh to the borderline criminal, all streaming through his mansion. They're drinking his booze, they're using his beach, and yet they know absolutely nothing about him. He's the sun that this whole solar system revolves around, but he's completely invisible. Which leads us to the next obvious question in our little investigation, right? If the world around him is just a fog of rumors, what happens when Gatsby himself finally opens his mouth? Let's see what story he wants us to believe. So during this car ride into the city, Gatsby decides to lay it all out for our narrator, Nick. He actually calls it God's truth. It's this perfectly polished story designed to do one thing, make you believe in the legend of Jay Gatsby. All right, so look at this. On the left, you've got Gatsby's version of his life. He's the heir to a dead millionaire, an Oxford man, a decorated war hero who lived like a king in Europe. It's perfect, almost too perfect. Now look at the right. That's Nick's reaction. He can feel that it's a performance. He notices how Gatsby kind of rushes past the Oxford part, how all these grand phrases sound so rehearsed, so threadbare, that he almost just laughs out loud. The story is a little too clean, isn't it? Just as Nick is about to write this guy off as a total phony, Gatsby does something absolutely brilliant. He knows his story sounds fake, so he came prepared. He brought receipts. First, he whips out this medal. It's from Montenegro, of all places, for valor extraordinary. And Nick is just floored. He says it has an authentic look. All of a sudden, this isn't just a story anymore. It's a real, physical object. And you can just feel Nick's doubts starting to melt away. And then comes the final nail in the coffin of Nick's skepticism, a photograph from Oxford. And this is just a genius move. There he is, holding a cricket bat, right next to a literal earl. It's the physical proof for the most unbelievable part of his story. And in that one moment, Nick is sold. He thinks it was all true. But something still feels off, you know? The performance was just a little too smooth. There's gotta be a deeper reason for all this. And sure enough, Gatsby admits he needs a big request from Nick. Which begs a new question. What is he hiding behind this perfectly authenticated mask? Gatsby's carefully built image as this flawless, charming gentleman? Yeah, it's about to get completely shattered. Because during a lunch in a shady New York cellar, Nick is introduced to the man who holds the key to Gatsby's dark, secret fortune. And this is the guy, Meyer Wolfsheim. He's something else. One minute, he's getting all misty-eyed, telling a story about his friend getting gunned down by the mob, and the very next second, he's asking Nick if he wants a business connection. The switch is so jarring and, frankly, pretty terrifying. And if you needed any more proof of what kind of world Wolfsheim operates in, you just have to look at his cufflinks. When Nick asks about them, Wolfsheim proudly tells him they're made out of human teeth, human molars. That one single grotesque detail tells you everything you need to know about where Gatsby's money really comes from. After Wolfsheim leaves, Gatsby casually drops an absolute bombshell. This guy isn't just some old gangster. He is the man who rigged the World Series back in 1919. The idea just completely stuns Nick. It's a direct line connecting Gatsby's beautiful, perfect world to one of the biggest criminal conspiracies of the time. That money is dirty, really dirty. So now we have the myths, the made-up identity, and the criminal fortune. But none of it explains the why. The final, crucial piece of the puzzle comes from Jordan Baker, and she reveals the one secret that makes everything else suddenly make perfect sense. The whole story is actually a tragic romance. See, 5 years ago, Gatsby was just a poor army officer, but he was madly in love with Daisy, the most popular girl in Louisville. But he had to go to war. And while he was gone, under pressure from her family, she married the incredibly rich Tom Buchanan. Everything Gatsby has done since, the mansion, the money, the parties, it's all the direct result of losing her. And, this wasn't some one-sided thing. Jordan tells this incredible story about the night before Daisy's wedding. She got a letter, presumably from Gatsby, got completely drunk and tried to call the whole thing off, sobbing in a bathtub. It's this moment of pure heartbreak, showing that she was just as torn up about it as he was. And just like that, the entire illusion just evaporates. The hundreds of guests, the live orchestra, the rivers of champagne. It was all just an incredibly elaborate stage, a theater built for an audience of one. Which brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Why go through all of this? Why build this massive, empty spectacle night after night after night? And there's the answer. And it's so simple, it'll take your breath away. He built his entire world, his entire empire, right on that spot, for the sole purpose of being right across the water from her, hoping that one night, the light from his party might catch her eye. And there it is. The mystery is solved. The rumors were just noise. The real Gatsby isn't a myth or a monster. He's just a man driven by this singular, all-consuming, and deeply human obsession to reach back and grab a single perfect moment from his past. In the end, Nick boils this whole chaotic world down into just 4 kinds of people. And Gatsby, well, he is without a doubt the pursuing. He built an entire world just to chase one thing. And it leaves us with one last thought, doesn't it? What's the real cost of chasing the dream that might not even exist anymore?